I am Carla Clayton. I am the Wellness Lady, and I help busy professionals create a healthier life, home, and business. One small step, one small change at a time. No judgments, just simple little sustainable changes. And I am so excited today because I have the lovely Dwania Kyles. She is the breathing beauty coach, and she is the owner of Ignite Transformation. I love the name of your business. And she's a wellness speaker, she's a coach, she's empowering people of all ages with the pillars of longevity through breath work, meditation, and various modalities of healing. And I'm so excited to dive into your story and how you got to where you are and what we're doing. And we've got a great activity that we have planned. But before we do that, this is Wellness Lady TV. And I just want to get just a broad sweep. What does wellness mean to you? Dwania.
What is it? Wellness? What does wellness mean to me?
Yeah.
Wellness to me is health. And what health is the body's ability to recover quickly from whatever we are experiencing, whether it's mental issues, whether it's emotional issues, whether it's physical issues. What are we doing for our body that when we are in the line of fire, okay, and bullets are passing by and nipping us and all of that, how fast can we recover from a hit? And I don't care what kind of hit it is. We're like in the middle of COVID right now. So how strong are our bodies to recover from a hit, and how fast does it take? That's what wellness, that's what health is.
Awesome.
I'm not going to be so long-winded.
I know, right? we're trying to keep this nice and tight, right? Okay, so I do want to give you a chance to tell us what you do. But before I do, I want to tell everybody how we met and how you came to be a guest on my show. So as you said, we're in COVID. And we're doing lots of things on Zoom. And you and I met networking on a Zoom, like we were in a workshop together. And when you introduced yourself and told me what you did, I said, I got to get to know her because I love your energy and I love the work that you're doing. And so I set up an appointment with you and we talked. And then I went to one of your workshops on, it was called the trauma one.
Yes, trauma and the breath.
Trauma and the breath. And it was so fabulous. And I want you to know, Dwania, that I have started incorporating that breathing, and it has helped me so much. There have been some nights where I was unable to sleep, and I went, go back to your breath, do the breathing exercises. And I've been trying, and I'm not going to say I'm 100% at it, but I've really been working in the morning, trying to take some time to do some breathing exercises. And, it's amazing. I could just feel such a difference. And so I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing. And I wanted to share with my audience as well as yours. I wanted to give you the opportunity to come on. I wanted to give this as a gift to my audience to say, hey, here's something that you can do to help manage your stress through the holidays. And that's how this whole thing came together, right?
Right.
So I want to now, getting to know you. Oh my gosh, I was blown away as I was getting to know you. And I know this is a side note. We need to talk about it in another show. I really want to have you come back. But, you talked about during that trauma workshop that, you had gone through some traumatic experiences as a child because your parents were very active in the civil rights movement. And as a result, you were put in this position as a 5-year-old to be one of the first children to integrate the schools in Memphis. You're one of the Memphis 13. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's incredible. I just wanted to bring that out because I think it's just so interesting. And, thank you for your courage. Not that you had a lot of choice in the matter,
Right?
but thank you for your courage in what you did. And so, yeah, I wanted to bring that out. So tell us now, give us your story about how you got into wellness and how you transitioned into focusing more on the breath.
Wellness for me goes back to when I was in college. That's when it goes back to, and I was studying the performing arts in college at Spelman. I started at Spelman. I graduated from Howard. And because I was an actor, and I really wasn't dancing then, because I was an actor, my body was my instrument. So it just, I just thought, how do you take care of your body? So that was really my introduction into the body and health and what that means. I really hadn't had much thought about it before I was probably 18 years old. And a couple of years later, my sister was the first vegetarian I ever knew. So by the time I was 19 or 20 or something, she was 19, because we're like, they call us the Irish triplets, because my brother's 15 months older, my sister's 15 months younger, and I'm in the middle, and then we have a younger brother. But she was a vegetarian, so she started, and I was raised in the South, so that was soul food cooking and all of that. And my father was a minister to boot, so we had to have an extra few. I think we had a couple of extra freezers because it was just so much food and cakes and pies and butter rolls and you name it, and we had it. And I thought, when I think back, it's a wonder we weren't all obese. It was a testament to something, I don't know what, but we weren't. And so that was my introduction to it. Yoga, by the time I was like a junior in college, brought me into the breath and meditation. So yoga introduced me to the breathing part, and the breathing part introduced me to the meditation part. And I thought I was good because I knew about juicing and I did this and da 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 da. However, when I got like in my 30s, I started getting these illnesses. I started getting sick. I had a fibroid. I almost died, to make a long story short. And I was very mad. I was angry. I was depressed. And because I didn't understand why, because I had done all the right things. Right. So I knew I had, so why? And that's where the trauma came in, not dealing with the trauma as an adult, making decisions in my life, not really knowing why I was making those decisions, but based on this suppression of the trauma, as opposed to learning how to deal with the trauma and move through it. It was really when Dwania Kyles, who did the documentary on the Memphis 13 in 2011. So it really wasn't until 2011 that I really understood, but I had an idea. So I started working my way through, but I'd always worked through nutrition. It was like, my nutrition is good, and I'm not taking this and I'm not taking that, and I do Kundalini yoga. Why am I sick? And trauma is a beast. It is a beast, because it's like a festering open wound. But anyway, it was my mother's death that really took me over the top, because she died at 69. She had all the chronic illnesses. And that's when I committed to saying, I'm going to learn what these illnesses are. And I'm going to do my best not to have any of them, so that my child, teach that to my child, so my child doesn't have any of them. And then I'm going to spread that word. And I want to work with people that want. And so I had the opportunity. So it was my mother's death that made me focus. And that's when I became certified as a wellness consultant. And then I ended up working at Harlem's Children's Zone here in the Harlem community for almost 4 years. And when I went in, everything for me was nutrition. Nutrition is the front line of defense. But when you work with as large of a community as I did, which was over 1,300 children just at my school, it was more, and then the parents and then the administration, you began to see certain things, and just to have the opportunity to try things. And what I learned was, no matter who the person was, no matter what the pain, no matter anything, if I could get them to calm down enough to breathe slowly and to focus on the breath, whatever they were experiencing, they could control it at that point. And that's what the breath allows us to do. So I really understood. And once I really understood that on a level, And the people were great there because I remember we would start meetings doing breath work. We would do a breathing exercise a lot of times before we started our core. When we would go meet with the core team, we would start with a breathing exercise. And it's a wonderful thing to be with a group of people physically and to take a moment so that everybody, because everybody's bringing all of the rest of what's going on in their lives into this meeting. And then we take that moment and we just take a breath together and just do a breathing exercise for a couple of minutes. And we would do that. So, and then as I left, they started saying that sometimes they would do breathing exercises before after school program would start, just for the team that was going to be working with the kids. So it was great. It was a great experience. It was a great experience, and it just further solidified. So when I left, I was very clear that the first line of defense in healing is breath work first. Then
So
all the other
let's take a moment, Dwania, and there's so much to tell, but let's do a breathing exercise.
Yes.
Let's hop in. Let's let our audience experience it. Then we'll talk some more, and then we'll do another breathing exercise. How does that sound?
I think that sounds great because I'm so into, we can talk about it, learn about it, read about it, sing about it, but doing it. And I heard you say, I heard you say earlier that I'm not going to say that I do it every day. It's not about whether I do it every day. It's I'm mindful of it and to be fully invested in it when you are doing it. And then the more you do it, the more benefits that you're going to see. So what I want to do now, and the reason I love this breath, it's I call it the 3-4-5, but it can really be 3-4-5-6-7-8. So it's 3-4, and right now I'm going to break it up. We're going to do 3-4 right now, and then at the end we're going to do the 5-6. So it's such a calming exercise. It allows us to just focus on the breath. And the reason I like counting and breathing is because it allows us to keep our mind focused on the breath. If I'm counting the breath, then whatever it is that I'm thinking about that wants to take my thoughts away to something else brings it back to the counting and the breath, which is why the breath is so important. Whatever it is you're doing, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're delivering a baby. Okay, I don't care if you're running. I don't care if you do whatever emotional thing that you have. If meditation, yoga, everything is centered on the breath. So what we're going to do, we're going to sit up in our chairs. We're going to put our hands on top of our thighs, near the knees, and we're going to sit there and none of all of that kind of stuff. And we're only going to breathe through the nose, and we're going to do 3 inhale for 3, exhale. Let me talk you through it first. You're going to inhale for 3, exhale for 3. You're going to do that 3 times. Then we're going to do it 4. We're going to inhale for 4 and exhale for 4, but we're going to do that 3 times too. And I'm just going to count you, and just think about counting the breath, just being aware of the breath. Think about just relaxing, and that's what the breath brings us present and makes us mindful about being present in the moment, which is all we really have. That's all we have. So breathe in this moment, like this breath is just the most healing thing that has ever happened and will ever happen to you. So, and you're going to exhale through the nose, and I'm breathing you in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. 4 now. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. And just return back to your normal breathing.
It feels so good.
What we just did was we just reset the autonomic nervous system.
Mm.
And the autonomic nervous system, of course, is the system that allows us to breathe without having to think about it. Because if we had to think about breathing, I don't know how many people would be alive on the planet. Just playing.
Exactly. And that's something that I notice about myself is if I'm under stress or something, I stop breathing.
That's what we
I
do.
hold my breath. I know that about myself. And so this is really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
So let me speak to what happens when we hold our breath.
Mm-hmm.
So something's happening and we hold our breath. So when we hold our breath like that, our body goes into constriction. And when the body goes into constriction, it sends signals. The other chemicals that are being released in the body are the toxic chemicals. And those are the chemicals. Breathing through breath work. We can change the environment, the internal environment of our bodies, which the cells and the muscles and the tissues live in. That's as huge as the air that we breathe as humans. It's as important. So when we get that, if we don't let it go fast enough, we can't release it, then it continues to release the toxic chemicals in the body that set up an environment to nurture disease. And that's right. And I don't want to get too sciencey or anything. I don't think that's real science, but that is what is happening.
So can we talk now about like holiday stress? So I know I've been speaking a lot to my audience about, first of all, 2020 is crazy different. But I mean, even before this, holidays can be really stressful. There's grief for people who've experienced loss. There's a lot of stress with family dynamics and dysfunction. There's the stress, the financial stress. There's the people pleasing stress. These are all the things I've experienced. So, can we talk about that a little bit and your perspective and how this breathing can help us?
By all means. And you really did go right after the ones and hit the ones that should be hit right on the top. Just hit that nail on the top of the head. It is the holiday season. This year is unprecedented. This year has been like no other year in my life. And I've been on the planet for 65 years. So no other year like this because of the virus. And so the loss has been extreme. And the loss of jobs has been extreme. Now, in a regular year, people are stressed out about especially Christmas, because of the gift buying and giving, So I don't have enough money, I don't really like my family. Well, now people are saying, I just want to see my family. I wish so-and-so was still here. So 80%, I think I was looking at some figures the other day, and it's saying like 80% of the people are feeling like they are stressed. That's a lot of people feeling stressed. So we feel that way. We're spending money that we don't have. We are around people that we don't want to be around. But this is the perfect it is the perfect time to slow down and to just breathe, and do it correctly. And correctly for me is always going to be through the nose, unless it's an exercise, because I do exercises where we will exhale, where I teach to exhale through the mouth, as well as sometimes inhale through the mouth. But breathing correctly is breathing slow, deep, and quiet. So I want to hear my breath in my ear, but I don't necessarily want somebody, in the next room or anywhere else to hear me breathe, unless that's a part of the exercise. And some exercises are like that. Because whatever it is that you're feeling. And I always say to people, being mindful of the breath is extremely important. And really, in what I do is I'm really encouraging and teaching people to be more mindful of the breath. How am I more mindful of the breath? If I'm in line at the bank and the line is moving too slow, and somebody else, and it starts with the first person being upset, and then that upsetness moves to the second person. So by the time it gets back to me and I'm the seventh person in line, am I going to feed that energy? Or am I going to be the one that takes a breath and the person in front of me say something kind and say, well, so and so and so and so and so on, and it's not the bank teller's fault? Or am I going to be the person that comes out of the line, quietly goes over to the manager, have a civil, kind conversation and say, is there anything that we can do to help move the line faster? We have choices to make. And the choices that we make will determine, and that's what we must always understand. The choices that we make will determine the environment of our bodies and whether or not we get sick. Everyone wants to think it is only food that makes us sick. And before we ever eat food, how we are responding to external activities that go on in our lives.
Mindset.
That's a mindset. That's our job. You wellness lady, I know you've been in business for 20 some odd years, Carla. Come on. You've been in business for 20 some odd years. You know more than anything else. It is a mindset. And that is what the breath helps us do. The breath allows us the time to slow down enough to choose to open our minds and to understand there's so much more to healing. Mm-hmm. There's so much more to how I can respond to something than just what's coming at me like this. And I get it. And I understand, because I was mad that I was sick. Oh, I was so mad. And then the madness turned, the anger and the madness turned into depression. And even that is a choice. Am I going to, I feel that too many people are going around day to day complaining about things, and doing the things, that look good, because, it looks good for me to do this and I understand it, but not doing it in a mindful way. Right. A mindful way. When I am upset, I know I'm upset. What is my breathing like? You just catch yourself. How am I breathing? And then we will begin to notice that those are short breaths. And short breaths mean that we're breathing up here in the chest. And when we're breathing in the chest, the oxygen and the air can't get down into the lungs. So we're depriving the cells, we're depriving the blood from taking the oxygen to the cells that it needs. So our cells are coming in, and they're not coming in at 100%. They might not even be coming in at 75%. So anybody's cells who are coming in at 50%, you just keep lowering and lowering and lowering the ability for the immune system, because every system of the body is made up of a cell. Right. If we were thinking of ourselves on the cellular level, I'm telling you, y'all just need to be walking around here laughing about everything. Just laugh about it. Yes. Are you? I tell people, I used to call my father and I said, Dad, what you doing today? It's your birthday. What you doing? He said, I breathed in and I breathed out, and it's a great day. Nice. Woo! And I didn't know that I would, and at the time that he was saying that, I didn't know that I would be ended up actually teaching people about the power of the breath. And I mean, it's so exciting and it's so wonderful, and there's so much that's known. And I think it's purposely not being, we're purposely not being exposed to it, because then we wouldn't have a $3.7 trillion, medical situation going on in just the United States of America. $3.7 trillion. Right. So self-care is not selfish. We say that all the time. This is a self-care practice. It is one small change that you can do
that can really make a big difference in your health. I love that you talked about mindset when you were talking about, you know, what your dad said and some of the other things. It caused me to think about something that it took me a while to learn. And once I embraced it, it made a big difference. I laughed when you said choices because I work with a bunch of coaches. We call ourselves the Smart Choices team because it is about making choices. Every day we make a choice. But one thing I learned, I was many years ago going through a very painful divorce, and a friend called me out on it and said, the language you are using is victim language. Change your language. And I did that recommendation and I went from victim to victor. It made all the difference. And I'm very mindful now of the language, which starts with the mindset, is the language that we use, that we talk about, even about this situation we're in 2020. You know, the language, if we continue to talk about the victim, you know, we're victims, while we could be looking for the silver linings, you know, it's about that. So I want to take some time now and let's, Dwania, can we do one more breathing exercise?
By all means,
And I
by
want to
all
invite
means.
everybody, before we do, I want to acknowledge that we have many, many guests here live with us. I can't even keep up with everywhere we have it online. But for here in our Zoom room, I don't know if you've seen what everybody's saying, but they
I
are
was
loving it. They say it's helping. You know, they've had these same situations, and they're just going on with some great comments. And so, you know, I think you're bringing some great value, Dwania, and I am so grateful and thankful for you as a guest today. So let's invite all of our guests and those of you watching the replay. Let's actually do this exercise. Please do it with me. We're going to let her. Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to build on the 3-4-5. I'm all about building a breath practice. So we're going to build on the 3-4-5. And then, so, you know, you just inhale for 3 and exhale for 3. You did that 3 times. Then you did that 4 times. Now we're going to do it 5 times. And then we're going to do it 6 times. So we're going to inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. We're going to inhale for 5, exhale, inhale 5, exhale 5. We're going to do the same thing for 6. Then what I want to do is I want to do one more round where we're going to inhale, and I'm going to go to 4. We're going to inhale for 4. We're going to hold it for 4, and we're going to exhale. And we're going to do that 3 times. This is going to be a little bit longer, but this is going to be good. And here again, mindset when we are breathing is everything. Whatever it is, that whatever seeds. So think gratefulness. Gratefulness is just, it vibrates to a high frequency. And I just want to say that, Carla, because that's what the breath work helps to do. The breath work helps to elevate our vibration. It helps to take us out of chaos and put us in calmness. That's what it does. And in doing that, it elevates. And see, a lot of people get it wrong because they think they got to be all here for energy to be, for that to be a high frequency. That's a low frequency. That's right. A low frequency. Calmness, that's a high frequency. Okay. Calmness is what is needed when we want to heal and cure things. Mm-hmm. So we always start with exhaling, and you're going to breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. And return to your normal breathing through the nose.
That was really, really good. I love the hold. Can you talk a little bit about what the hold is doing?
When you hold the breath, actually what you're doing is when we inhale, we're inhaling the oxygen. And when we exhale, we're exhaling the carbon dioxide. But when we hold that breath for a minute, we're building up more carbon dioxide in the blood. And actually what that does is that allows carbon dioxide is needed to actually transport the oxygen out of the blood into the cell. Okay, so when we're holding that breath, it's giving that our bodies enough time to build up more carbon dioxide, so it is delivering more oxygen into the blood, into the cells. So that's what it does.
Awesome.
And what I would encourage everyone to do is to put them together. And you see, it was harder. It's harder to breathe for 5 and exhale for 5 and then for 6. Now, if I had you hold it, it's a whole nother thing. It's just so much fun. And it's just so exciting because it's like art to put together a breath practice and to see. Because a lot of what I see a lot of times, Carla, is I see a lot of times that breath people will come on and they're working with people. And some of these people have never really done breathing exercises. And they'll have them do stuff like, and they'll be doing all of this. And I'll be like, oh my God, that's a lot. Because this is what I want people to understand. And I really want people to listen when I say this. Most of us are experiencing some high levels of stress or anxiety. It's the way that we live on the planet. Right. When we do those kinds of breathing exercises that are that strong, you have to work your way up to that. Because when you do, you can bring an anxiety attack on. You can bring more stressful feelings of anxiety that will translate into whatever else. We bring that on because that's a really aggressive breathing exercise. As opposed, I don't care. What you really just want to do is remember to breathe slow, deep, and quiet. And be consistent and be mindful of what it is. That's how powerful the breath is. The breath is what allows us to align into our inner minds, our pituitary, our pineal gland, and to have mystical experiences so that at some one day we might experience spontaneous healing, which everybody knows that I always say I'm chasing spontaneous healing and I'm chasing mystical experiences and I want to live to be 120. So it's like life is one big experiment to me. And so keep your minds open and be curious, because as long as you are, I promise you, and laugh a lot. Everybody that I see, Priscilla has said many times in here, about, I know you said something about, you said laughter, when you're laughing, you're breathing too. Laughter changes the frequency. Being in gratitude changes the frequency. Breathing changes the frequency. When someone, and I begin to understand that by doing these things, I could change my frequency, experience more happiness, have more energy because I'm not wallowing in something. We've got to understand what are the triggers to what's making us sad or unhappy or devalued. What are those triggers? And you know when that's coming, and when it's coming, choose to do a breathing exercise, choose to do something where I'm involved with laughing, make better choices. Don't sit there and say, it's coming for me, and just let it come. Don't do that.
And stop breathing. Listen, this has been so much fun, and thank you to all our guests. Look, before we go, I want to give you a chance, Dwania, because this is surface level. I mean, we just started at the very surface. But how can our audience find you? And I even know that you're doing a new program. Can you tell us a little bit about where they can find you and about this new program that you're doing?
You know, I'm supposed to have all that information all together somewhere over the rainbow. But
I'll put it all in the show notes,
Great.
your links, but
Great.
just your main website.
My main website is Facebook, Dwania Kyles, my name, / Living with Grace. Okay. My new program, subscription based, where I'm hands-on more than what I am like right now, is the Breathing Bubble VIP. And if you go there, and I know that you go there, I can see, and then I can direct you to where you can go and sign up for it. But those are the two main ones. And then Dwania, everything is Dwania Kyles, or Kyles Dwania. My Instagram is Kyles Dwania. I'm trying to keep it easy for people.
Right.
And my LinkedIn is Dwania Kyles, and my website is DwaniaKyles.com. So it's just Dwania Kyles. Go and just put Dwania Kyles, and it'll take you to somewhere.
So I do want to encourage everybody to check out her new subscription membership. That it just sounds wonderful, and I know that they can get more details from you on that. And then I also want to let you know that you can find me at wellnesslady.com. I encourage you to sign up for my newsletter, because I got some great information, and follow me in all the social media. And same, everything is Wellness Lady or Carla Clayton. So just run a search. You can find me all over the place. And I am starting a new program, a refresh for 2021. And we're going to be refresh your mind, your menu, and your movement. So if anybody's interested in doing that 30-day program with me, just reach out to me. I'll get you the details. This has been great. And I thank you, all of our guests. You guys were amazing. I'm sorry we didn't respond to everything that was being said. I was trying so hard to focus on Dwania and what she was saying, but we did see your comments come through. And thank you.
And let me just holler out Priscilla, Ajale, JLA, Deborah, Sandra. We see all of you, Carla, Kristen. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much. Sherry, thank you guys for coming on.
And I see some of them are saying they're in your VIP program, and
yes, they are.
They're loving it. So, and people are saying this has been empowering. They are saying, that it's really been a great experience. And I thank you for coming on and doing this in your time. And you know what I love about this?
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. You're in Harlem, and I'm in Florida. So, like, you're in a snowstorm right now. It's 40 here and I'm freezing. But
I don't even believe you just said that, Carla.
I know.
You just said 40 and she's freezing. Can you believe it? All I see is snow.
I know. But I love Zoom for this. I love that we've been able to connect and just bring all our resources together to really help people and make a difference. And so again, thank you so much. And we'll see you all soon, hopefully.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for having me. And just remember, slow down, take a breath. Take a breath. Seriously. Right. Thank you, Carla, so much. I so look forward to whatever else we're going